everybody, my name's Alex and I'm a physiotherapist from Function, and I'm going to be taking this level 3 different strokes exercise class today. So level 3, for any of you who are new here, class is designed for individuals who have reasonably good movement in their affected leg, but they may have some restricted movement in their affected arm. The class is going to be a combination of seated and standing exercises. So for the standing exercises, please make sure you have something sturdy to hold onto for balance. Okay, this could be a kitchen bench, table, or a sturdy chair. Please also be aware it is a requirement that you have somebody available to supervise you with exercises as needed for safety. So today we are going to be doing a movement flow again. Okay, so following on from last week, we're going to build upon that. So last week we really focused on establishing optimal alignment, so our optimal posture. Okay, so really focusing on finding that nice base through a neutral pelvis. So remember, we're not tilting too far forward or back. We're then also looking at our shoulder blade position and our neck position. So if you didn't see last week's class, I would encourage you to go back and have a look at it, because it really sets a foundation and covers in a bit more depth what we will talk about today. So today we're going to be, again, starting with a bit of a reset. So reset means that we're going to be resetting our posture, okay? So re-establishing that neutral alignment by activating our key core muscles, so tummy, bottom muscles back, muscles around the shoulder blade, so that we can move more efficiently. So we're trying to re-establish that balance in our body, something that's really key, especially in stroke rehab. Okay, so to start with our reset, we're going to start in a seated position. I'm going to turn my chair to the side, okay, just so that you can see my posture a bit easier. So have your feet underneath your knees, okay, hip width apart. Feel and make sure you've got equal weight going through left and right bottom cheeks. Hands can be on your lap. Let's think about firstly establishing that neutral pelvis, so that foundation for the house that is our body, okay? So think about pelvis being a bowl. We're going to be tilting that bowl back, okay? So rounding. This is posterior tilt, okay? Our pelvis is tipping posteriorly. We're then going to tilt forward as if we're pouring that water out away from us. This is anterior tilt. Okay, we don't want to be too far anterior or posteriorly tilted, but to help us find our neutral position, I want you to gently rock between that anterior and posterior tilt, really focusing on the movement coming from your pelvis. So you're rocking forward and back on that pelvis, so on those bottom bones. Keeping your upper body nice and still. And then I want you to really find where you think the middle is. So this is our neutral pelvis, where we're containing the water in that bowl. So we're not tipping it too far forward or back. We're nice and level. You can always check in with your hands by using your fingers on the bony bit at the front of your pelvis and the thumb at the back to try and see if they're roughly equal. The bony bit at the front's not pointing too far up or downwards. We're in that nice middle position. So we've set our foundation. I want you to think about as well gently drawing those tummy muscles together and back. So if you imagine there's a diamond of our abdominals. So you can always place the heel of your hand on one of your front hip points. The fingers are pointing down towards your pubic bone and your thumb is pointing up towards your tummy button. So imagine that's one half of a diamond. If you mirror it up the other side, so you could always do it with both hands if that's available to you, we then have a diamond position on our pelvis, on our tummy muscles. Imagine you're trying to draw that diamond together and back. Okay, you can also think of, imagine you've got a belt around your waist and you want to do it up a couple of notches. So a nice low belt one to do that belt up just another notch. So a gentle drawing in of that tummy. Okay. So now we've activated that tummy gently. So we've got that gentle drawing in. pelvis is neutral. Let's gently squeeze those shoulder blades back and down. So feel those shoulder blades, those flat bones on the back of your shoulders here, really sitting back on those ribs. So we're not too rounded in our shoulders. We're going to be opening our shoulders. Think of them sliding back and down as if they're going towards your back pockets. But we're containing all of our front body here. So we're not letting our front body spill out as we pull our shoulders back. We're keeping our engagement through here as we slide those shoulder blades back and down. Now think about lengthening up through your neck. Imagine that hot air balloon tied to the top of your head, pulling you up nice and long. Gently lifting up through your throat rather than through your chin. You could also think about it as a gentle little chin tuck. So here we have our nice neutral position. So we're checking in with our pelvis, our shoulders, and our head position. Let's now take our hands, okay, together in front, and let's just gently do some wrist flexion extension, so bending and straightening those wrists. So looking like this, just moving side to gently start and warm up those wrist muscles. And just gently mobilize, especially if you have any tightness in your wrists. You could start doing some gentle little circles. Again, you're just moving within your limits. Whatever feels comfortable, nothing should hurt or be painful. Lovely. And then what we're going to do now, we're going to bring our hands, we're going to try and face our fingers together in a prayer position and bring those hands down towards our chest for a prayer stretch. So this could look like this. So only go as far as comfortable for you. We're just working on that wrist extension. That could be up here. Okay, just working on bringing those elbows out, hands down to wherever is comfortable. Take a nice big breath in and out here. And relax. Lovely. Give those hands a little shake. We can give those fingers a bit of an open and close. Lovely. And relax those hands. I want you to get a pillow. So if you can get your assistant to get you a pillow, or if you've got one by the side, then you're going to grab that and place it between your knees. If you don't have a pillow, do not worry. Okay, so you're placing it between your knees, your feet are hip width apart, and you're just going to gently squeeze that pillow. So you might need to double it over if you've got a small pillow. And we're just going to start to think about squeezing our bottom muscles and relaxing. So as you squeeze, you can see I lift a bit taller on my chair, and as I relax, I go back down. So we're just really bringing some attention, starting to wake up those bottom muscles. So as you squeeze, think about gently squeezing those knees together on the pillow. Really waking up the muscles down and around by our pelvis. Those bottom muscles at the back, so our glute muscles, gluteus maximus muscles, are really important mover muscles. They're really important for when we're standing, when we're moving and standing, our balance, but also our stability of our pelvis. And if you're anyone that ever gets any back pain, our bottom muscles, when we get them working a bit better, can help relieve those muscles in our back. So let's keep squeezing and relaxing. So squeezing your bottom muscles and those knees together at the same time. Maintaining that optimal posture. Good. Let's do a few more here. Lovely. And relax. Release that pillow. So coming now, I'm going to turn my chair. So coming into, we've now activated the muscles at the back of our pelvis to support our posture. We're now going to activate the muscles at the front of our pelvis. So sitting nice and tall in your chair, find that optimal alignment that we established at the start. Hands crossed on your chest so you can support your affected arm as needed. Inhale. Exhale, rotate to the left using those tummy muscles. Everything drawing into center. Really feel everything engaged, staying long through that spine. Return to center as you breathe in. Relax your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rotate to the right. Everything drawing in. Hold that there. Really connect to your core. Connect to your center. Back to the middle as you breathe in. Relax your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rotate to the left. Draw everything into center. Feel that engagement through your core. Return to center as you breathe in and relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rotate to the right. Everything drawn in. Return to the center and relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rotate to the left. Use those tummy muscles. Feel that nice gentle stretch across your back. So this is an active stretch here. Return to center. Relax your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rotate to the right. So it's really important along with stretching that we also have active mobility, so strength throughout the range. So exercises like this, return to center, where we are getting a bit of a stretch but also working the muscles are really, really important, okay? So we're going to add on now. We're going to breathe in, breathe out, twist to the left. Now you can lift up that left heel, feel the connection through your core, return to center, lower the heel. Breathe in, breathe out, rotate to the right. Use those tummy muscles, lift that right heel off the floor. Everything's drawn in. Return to center, lower the right heel. Good, breath in. Breathe out, rotate to the left. This time you can lift the heel or you can hover the legs. So really having to work and challenge that core now. Lower the foot or the heel, back to center. Inhale. Exhale, rotate to the right. Lift the right heel or option to lift the right foot off the floor. Feel that connection through your core. Lower the right foot. Return to center. Good. Let's do one more time each side. Big breath in. Breathe out. Rotate to the left. Left heel on the left leg or the foot. Really keeping tall, maintaining that posture. Lower back down. Return to center. Other side. Inhale. Exhale and turn. Lift the right heel or foot. Really drawing everything in. Return to center, lower that leg down. Lovely. Let's place our hands on our thighs and do a few cat-cows here. So you're going to draw those elbows back, shoulder blades back, open that chest up, big breath in. Breathe out as you reach those arms away, round that back. Option to drop your head and draw that tummy in. Inhale as you draw those elbows back, shoulders back, nice and tall. And breathe out as you lengthen those arms away. Option to drop the head, chin to chest. Let's do two more here. Elbows back, shoulder blades back, open that chest. And exhale, round that back. You can option to drop your head. One more here, elbows back, squeeze shoulder blades back together, open up that chest. And exhale, draw those tummy muscles in, round the back. Drop that head. And then find that nice neutral position. Okay, we're gonna work our way now into standing. So in your own time, make your way into a standing position in front of your support. Okay. So you could be holding onto a chair, kitchen bench. You can have a chair nearby or behind you so that you can sit down as needed for rest. But just make sure you've got enough room around you because we're going to be moving our legs a little bit here, stepping backwards. So make sure you've got enough room behind you. So in standing, again, I want you to think about finding that neutral position. So that neutral alignment that we did in sitting, we're going to do in standing as well. You're trying to find equal weight bearing through your left and right leg. So we're not too far over one way. Feel equal weight through your legs, feet are hip width apart. Our pelvis is also neutral. So we're drawing in those lower tummy muscles to support our spine. Shoulder blades back and down, lengthen up through your neck. Nice neutral position here, okay? So we're always working and thinking about coming back to our neutral position and our alignment. Because if we have alignment and we have that optimal posture, it's going to allow us to move more efficiently. So this will carry over, like I said, into your balance, your walking, and your day-to-day movements. So if we can find that, and if we can know where our central position is, then we can correct ourselves, and it will then be able to carry over into day-to-day activities. So find that neutral posture, hands on the side as needed, gentle engagement through your bottom muscles and your tummy. Let's lift our right arm up to the ceiling, okay, as far as you can lift, okay. If this is your practice time and you don't have much movement, just lift it as high as you can. What I want you to really focus on here is keeping everything at the front contained. So we're not arching, okay, or leaning back or using our body to get our arm up. You're moving your arm just as high as you can, that could be here, whilst keeping everything in your core and center contained. Lower back down and then repeat on the other side. So we're really focusing here, alternating side to side, on movement at the shoulders whilst allowing and maintaining stability in our core. Good. Let's do one more each side here. And down. Fantastic. We're now going to do the same idea, but on our legs. So we're going to focus on moving the hip. So the hip is obviously the top of our thigh bone here. So it's a ball and socket joint. It's like it's our pelvis and our thigh bone when they come together. So what we want to be able to do is move our hip without having to move our body and our pelvis, okay? We're trying to isolate and differentiate the movement at our hip from our pelvis, which can be really difficult for a lot of people, especially if you have weakness around it. But if we can try and connect and dissociate the movement, it's going to help us with these more efficient movement, more effective movement. And also, if you struggle with pain in your back, it means that we're going to try and relieve some of these muscles that are working overtime up here, and try and get these ones around your hip, like your bottom muscles, working a bit better. So that will help with that, with any of your back muscles that are just doing a bit too much and causing you discomfort. Okay, so we're going to stand nice and tall again, that neutral posture, equal weight bearing. We're going to lengthen our left leg behind us. Again, keeping that neutral pelvis, so try not to let anything tip out at the front. Don't lose that energy at the front here. Squeeze your bottom. You might not get back very far, that doesn't matter. So you're just going to slide your leg back as far as you can without losing that neutral pelvis. Come back to the center, and then the other side. Slide your right leg back, squeeze your bottom, but keep those tummy muscles working to support your spine. And back, good. We're gonna go to the left leg, squeeze, extend back. If you're tight in your hip, this might not be a very big movement, but really just think about squeezing your bottom as you lengthen that leg behind you. Good, let's do one more on each side. Lengthen that left leg, squeeze your bottom, good, and then the right, good. Now you can stay here, practicing alternating, right arm, left arm, opposite then right arm, right leg, left leg, or if you'd like to increase the challenge, what I invite you to do is think about lengthening that left leg behind you whilst lifting up that right arm. Again, keeping everything contained, tummy still working, bottom muscles working. Lower, and then the other side. Right leg back, left arm. Alternate arms and legs. Good. Just going to do a couple more here on each side. Nice. Last one. Good. One more. and relax. Fantastic. Okay, we're just going to finish this part by looking at our downward dog position in standing. So downward dog is a really nice position to try and get some weight bearing through your hands. So really working on those stabilizing muscles around your shoulder blades, and then also working on getting a bit of a nice stretch to the backs of your thighs. And it's a great one again for just balance, integrating that core, working on that posture and keeping your back straight. So hands can be on the chair in front of you or on the bench. If you need support, you can have your hands overlapped so you can support your affected side. Step your hands back, step your feet back a bit further from the chair. Okay, so what I want you to think about doing, we're going to think about sending our hips back. So notice here, I'm keeping my back straight, but I'm going to send my hips back behind me, so I'm hinging. If you imagine you've got a set of drawers behind you and the top one is open, imagine you're trying to just shut the drawer with your bottom. I think that's a nice way of thinking about just hinging at those hips. So hands are going to be leaning onto the chair in front of you, so you're getting some weight through those hands, elbows are straight, and think about sending those hips back behind you. Now it doesn't have to be far. What I want you to really think about is leaning through those hands so you're feeling that connection to the chair or the side. Elbows are straight, you've sent your bottom back, knees can be a bit bent, and tummy is really drawn in to try and support your spine. So this is going to be our downward dog position. If you want to make this harder, you can step your feet back a bit further and send your bottom further back. But notice this puts a lot more demand and stretch on my shoulders, and it also is a lot more demand on my tummy muscles. So if you come in a bit closer, that will be easier. You'll be a bit higher up, so less stretch on the shoulders, focusing about pushing through those arms while also keeping weight equal through the legs. Bottom is back. Okay, so this is our downward dog position, which we'll be coming to in our little flow. So we're going to start firstly by doing a sun salutation like we did last week in standing, okay? So similar to last week, we're going to move through this. We're just going to do it once before going into a little movement flow to finish, which is going to be great for challenging your balance, getting those muscles around your hips working as well, okay? So all of these are great for when you're coming into walking, being able to stand in balance and move in different directions. But always focusing on keeping that optimal posture, so keeping everything in our body nice and organized. So stand in front of your chair or your support in that neutral posture like we have started in practice throughout the class. If you've got the balance, you can have your hands down by your side, palms facing forward as much as you can. So we're in our, what we call Tadasana. I like to think about it as if you're saying, ta-da! So our nice Tadasana mountain pose. Feeling that equal weight bearing through left and right leg. You can have one hand on the chair, or alternatively, if you have the balance, we're going to lift our arms forward and up, keeping the core contained. Only doing what you can for your balance. We're going to exhale. We're going to bring our hands back to the chair. Step back with your feet and just forward fold. So let your knees relax. We're just gently bending forward, but you've sent your hips back again. Imagine you're, like I said, trying to shut that drawer with your bottom. You don't have to be very low here, okay? Just doing a little bend, supporting yourself with your hands. Grow nice and tall. We're going to step our left leg forward. So we're in a split stance position. Further away that your feet are, the harder it is. So if you need to, you can bring those feet a bit closer together. Reach that left arm up to the ceiling. Keep everything contained. Really squeeze your right bottom. Okay, keep your tummy working. Lengthen those ribs up away from your pelvis. Big breath in and out here. Relax that hand back down. Step your left foot back so your feet are even. Little push up here. So bend your elbows, lower your chest towards the chair or the bench. Push through those hands to straighten back up. Now step your feet forward. Draw those shoulder blades back, elbows back and in. Feel that opening in your chest. Lovely. Step those legs back. Come into that downward dog that we just practiced. So send your hips back. Straighten arms, connecting to the side through your palms. So think about leaning into those hands a little bit. Feel the weight and connection. Step your right foot forward. So we're in this split stance position again. Back knee can be a little bit bent if needs be. Squeeze that left bottom cheek. We're going to reach our right arm up to the ceiling this time. Lengthen through the ribs. So lengthen through those side bodies. Left glute is active, so your bottom muscle on the left is active. Hand back to the chair. Step your right foot back. Feet are even. Little press up. Bend those elbows. Back is straight. Push through those elbows to straighten back up. Step your feet forward a little bit. Draw those elbows back, shoulder blades back and down. Lengthen through your spine. Step back. Send those hips back. Connect through your palms to the bench. Okay? Send your hips back for that downward dog. Only going as far as is comfortable for you, so you can still be up here. Think about drawing in through that tummy. So you're sending that bottom back as if you're shutting that draw. Knees can be soft. Grow tall again. Step your feet forward and come back to that Tadasana. Okay, so those hands down for your side or on the chair, finding that optimal posture. Fantastic. So we're going to come to our chair now. We're going to do a short flow just to finish. Okay, so you're going to come back to your seated position. Hands on your thighs or on the arms of the chair. We're going to do 5 sit-to-stands. So have your feet equal underneath your knees. You can use your hands if you need to, or if you can try without your hands. We're going to lean forward, push through our legs as we grow tall, squeeze up, squeeze your bottom, weight is equal. Send your hips back, bend your knees as you sit back down. Good, we're going to do 5 here. Lean forward, push down through both the legs to stand up. Send hips back as we sit down. Lovely, let's do a few more here. Stand up, squeeze up through both of those legs. Remember, you can hold your support in front if you need to when you're standing. And sit down. Let's do 2 more here. Stand up. Equal weight. Think about that symmetry and that connection through your core. Good. Last one here. Gonna stand up. And this time we're going to stay standing. Now come to your support in front, so you can have your chair in front of you, the bench in front of you. I'm just going to scooch you mine about here. So you can have the chair behind you here and just have another support in front like a kitchen bench. Standing nice and tall, we're going to do some marching. So again, focusing on keeping that optimal posture and alignment. Lift right leg up and down, and then the left leg. Really focus here on keeping that neutral alignment as you lift alternate legs. So here again, we're differentiating that hip movement from our body movement. So we're keeping our body still when we lift and move our hip. Good, let's do 1 more each side. Relax those feet down, equal apart, feet hip width apart, weight is equal. Let's do a couple of cat-cows here in this standing position. So we're going to think about drawing those elbows back and down. You can lean and soften your chest slightly, but you're keeping a bit of engagement in your tummy. And then we're going to round that back. You can bend your knees here. Again, let's think about drawing those shoulders back and down. You can soften your chest towards the chair. And then round that back, push the chair away. You can always bend your knees a little bit here. We're just getting a bit of softness in our back. You can always really round that back. And then we're going to soften the chest towards the chair, elbows back and down. And then round that back. And then come and find that nice neutral position. Moving into some side lunges. We're going to have our chair nice up and our feet, we're going to bring them nice and wide. So I'm going to show you facing forward firstly. Imagine I have my support in front of me. Feet nice and wide, okay? As wide as is comfortable for you and you can get. So your wide might be here, your wide might be here. Depends how long your legs are as well. Holding a support, I want you to think about bending your knee. Send your hips back. So a little lunge to the side, come back to the middle, and then the other side. You're trying to keep your knee over your hip. So we're just going to do some little side lunges side to side. So if you're side on, it will look like this. So we're bending, sitting our hip back a little bit, coming back up. So really think about sitting your hip back when you're moving side to side. Again, it could just be a little tiny bend. Doesn't have to be big. Working within your limits. It's a nice opener for those inner thighs. Good. Let's do one more each way. Good. Lovely. And then we're coming back to center. This time, so stay where you are, but I want you to turn your feet outwards just a little bit. Okay, so your toes are pointing out. Hold your support again in front. I'm just facing this way so that you can see. We're going to do some little goddess squats. God or goddess, however you would like to call it. We're just going to do some little bends and up. So it's a different type of squat. You've got to really send your knees out for this one. Make sure they're not knocking in. Feet can be turned out just wherever's comfortable for you. Could be on an angle. And we're just down and up in this little goddess squat position. So you might feel it working some different muscles. Weight is equal through both legs. Good. Let's do one more. Lovely. And set those feet back to a neutral position. You can now make your way back down towards your chair. Into the seated position. And we're just going to do some nice big shoulder rolls. Really nice. And just have a moment here to really check in with your body, see how it feels. Do you feel more activated in some areas? Do you feel like some areas are a bit freer, able to move a bit better? Did you find some of those movements more difficult than the others? It would be useful sometimes, I always think, to like check in if you do this class, and then you could redo it another time and then see if it feels different, feels a bit easier. But these movements are really, and the importance of in these flows is just really thinking about your optimal posture and alignment and taking that into day-to-day activities. So if you can, when you're moving about throughout your day, think about your alignment and your engagement and how you're moving, then it's really going to be beneficial for what we do in classes to then carry over into day-to-day activities and hopefully make things feel a bit lighter, a bit easier, and you move a bit more efficiently. So let's just finish with a really nice big breath in and out. So big breath all the way to the bottom of your lungs. Filling forward, side and back and out. Lovely. Thank you so much for joining me today for this movement flow. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be continuing with this for the next few weeks. So please check in next week where we will also build upon this a bit more, but we will be focusing more on upper body and shoulders. If you have any feedback or comments, please leave them below. If you've enjoyed the class, give it a thumbs up. And if you've got any comments, you can always send them to the Different Strokes Facebook page as well. Remember, we've got loads of other classes on the Facebook page and YouTube page, so check them out. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.